Good morning, good morning, good morning. You are tuned into ZBC's Good Morning Zimbabwe, and your favorite segment once again has surfaced on the airwaves, trending with Curtly. And of course, Nasi, we have a very exciting story for you, and at the same time, some very exciting news. We have our maiden guest in studio today. And in a world where travel has become an utmost form of expression, and in an Africa where bribery, corruption, and many other ills have corrupted society, African travel YouTuber, also known as the Kenyan sister, who joins us here in studio, found herself a nonconformist to these ills after an confirmed solicitation of a bribe happened at the Harare International Airport. That video had amassed about 69,000 views, and I'm joined by the lady who has about 17,000 views on Instagram. Very good morning, the Kenyan sister, the African tigress, Marcy. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Curtly. How are you?
I'm fantastic. And how does it feel to be in Zimbabwe?
I love it. It feels like home. It feels like Nairobi.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
With good weather. Nairobi with good weather.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just very fortunate you've joined us during this time of spring where the sun is out.
I love it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So now, just going back to that video that we've just watched, how did you feel at the point in time where all this transpired and you were told that you have to leave something? Apparently that's what you said?
Yeah, bless me with something small.
Those were exact words.
Yeah. Like she said, that's one of the ways she put it. She put it like 3 times. She said it, I ignored like 3 times. Yeah, I think she saw like I was a bit also adamant in giving. And then,
absolutely. Yeah. So you were a nonconformist to these social ills.
Yeah. Of course, it's so frustrating. Having traveled to different countries in Africa, this is actually, sadly, almost norm in every country. So even as much as I talked about it, I didn't even think like anyone would take action, because we do talk about it when we travel. We face that. Sometimes, like I mentioned, we had been denied entry and we had to sleep at the border.
Yes.
So we just talk about it. It's frustrating, but we talk about it and we kind of get used to it. But one thing I always try is I actually never give out bribe. That's why sometimes I ended up sleeping at no man's land.
Oh, wow. No, yeah. That's excellent. And kudos to you for that. And like you said, it never happens. It's not something that, I'm sorry, it actually happens more often everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And the only different thing was now you got an apology from the government.
This is the first,
yes.
I did not expect.
So the Ministry of Cultural Heritage, actually, Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, actually wrote you an apology. And
yeah.
as you can see there, an official apology was issued. So take us through, how did that happen?
Okay, so after I made the video, they contacted me through Harmony, who had picked me from the airport. That's the guy in blue.
Yes, the guy in blue.
Yeah,
yes.
They contacted me through him. They got his contacts, and they wanted to either come to me or me to go to them. I said I'd prefer to go to them rather than to where I was staying.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we went. We met with some officials. I narrated everything, how it happened from the chronological occurrence of the event.
Yes.
So I narrated all that, and of course they took my photos of my passport and all the details necessary that they needed, and of course they really apologized a lot.
Okay.
A lot.
So what I think what the people want to know as well, besides just an apology letter and a visit, did the government give you something else?
No.
Did they give you like a free stay somewhere?
I wish they did.
Absolutely.
Or a free trip to Victoria Falls or something.
Okay,
I
so
wish they did.
You'd love to go to Victoria Falls, which speaks to the domestic tourism here.
I would love to.
Absolutely.
I'd love to.
No, that's brilliant. And I think something else that people would want to know is, how are you finding perhaps just the people here in Zimbabwe?
Overwhelmingly loving.
Yes.
Oh, the people are so loving.
They're so loving.
Oh my goodness. I even feel like now staying
yes.
like staying for good. Like
that's
the
good.
people are just overwhelmingly loving. I've received so much love, so many messages. And that was just the only bad incident I had. After that, after the airport, I haven't had any other challenges
Anything
at
else.
all.
Yes, yes.
Like it's just so warm.
We actually saw some footage of you at the Longcheng Plaza and
Mm-hmm.
quite some scenes that you were seeing. You know, we call it Little Chinatown,
Yeah.
apparently, and we can see you with some videos, you know, just moving around the Longcheng Plaza and making sure that you actually want to, you know, perhaps see more places like that. And something that people will be interested in as a traveler, what do you, where do you get your funding, and where do people get their funding? You know, we see all these people YouTubing. Where do people get the funding? Where do people get the funding?
Oh, you put me on the spot for that one, but YouTube pays.
Yes.
YouTube pays, and then
YouTube
I also
pays.
do sponsored ads. So maybe someone has their business that they would love to be promoted or to be mentioned.
Yes.
I do that. I do a lot of sponsored ads, and then of course YouTube, and then there's just a lot of people who just support. They just love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of Africans who are in the diaspora.
Yes.
When you're showing videos about their countries and all that, I think the nostalgia and the things they'd love to. And then there's sometimes people will tell you, oh, I would love to give you something. I would love you to please go show me Bulawayo.
Yes.
Something like that.
That's exciting. That's exciting. Yeah, and of course we saw some tweets as well, some tweets from the loving Zimbabweans. You know, we even saw a caption of you in Shona. I'd be very interested to know who wrote those captions in Shona, because it's quite interesting to know that there were some captions in Shona there.
Some captions in Shona, I do ask. Like when I go to a country, I always, at least knowing the greetings, knowing to say how to say thank you, goodbye, welcome. So I always, every country I go to, if you watch my videos, you'll find that there's some aspect of trying to use the local language.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
I always
indeed.
ask.
No, that's brilliant. No, that's all right. It's been an absolute thrill to have you here. And of course, knowing that each and every one of the people here in Zimbabwe are watching, what would you want to say? In fact, rather, why Zimbabwe? Why Zimbabwe?
Honestly, I really wanted to visit this country from the beginning of the year.
Yes.
A lot of times I don't have, when I'm traveling, I don't have plans like, oh, here. I do, but it's just pretty random. I don't know. It's just like something just in my mind tells me you need to go to this country.
No, that's
and then I
brilliant.
just go. I had a good feeling about Zimbabwe, and I wanted to visit around, was it around early in the year, but you guys were on a lockdown. There was a lockdown and all that, so I said I'll cancel until when the time is right.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant. Okay, thank you so much, Marcy, the Kenyan sister, the African tigress. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get in touch with her on all social media platforms, and she's got a lot of content to share, and her Zimbabwean experience is obviously going to be one to remember. That's it we have for the second edition of Trending with Curtly. My name is Curtly Gwindi, Kurt by name and not by nature, at Curtly Gwindi on all social media platforms. A very big salute to our friends at Venice Menswear, as well as Secure Sneakers, always making sure we look good on this segment. And for now, we will be taking a break, and we'll be back with the arts segment.
8 minutes after 8 is our time, right on Power FM Zimbabwe. Mikasa and Eddie Kenzo, movie star, Friday morning, right on Power FM Zimbabwe.
Maria Rosa.
Maria Rosa. Aye, that's a tight song, eh? So, from Harare, we're making our way to Nairobi, Kenya. Right on the Champions League breakfast on Power FM Zimbabwe. Karibu.
Asante sana.
Asante sana. Welcome.
Nakupenda.
Nawapenda pia.
Now, here.
What does that mean?
I love you.
Oh, okay. As if you didn't know. I didn't. So we've got our sister from Kenya right here in the studio, right on Power FM Zimbabwe. African Tigress is our Kenyan sister. She visited Zimbabwe a couple of days ago, and we just managed to hook up with her. She's right in the studio. Morning to you, the African Tigress.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Absolutely fine.
Great. How has been your stay in Zimbabwe ever since you arrived?
I love it. It's been amazing. Despite the challenge, that was the only bad thing that happened. After that, it's just been amazing. Maybe you can grant me citizenship now.
No problem, no problem. At least somebody says Nakupenda, so you know you are loved.
Citizenship by dependence.
So the African Tigress right in the studio. We understand there have been some issues that really happened a couple of days ago when you touched down at the RGM airport, and you're okay and you're happy with the responses that came around?
Absolutely. I mean, we face such challenges when traveling, and Zimbabwe is the first place to ever take action or respond to that. Most often, it's just ignored. So, absolutely happy. I actually feel like saying I'm a proud Zimbabwean.
No problem, no problem. Most welcome. You're most welcome being in Zimbabwe. And so, so which places do you intend to travel in Zimbabwe, or where have you been so far?
I've been to most of the suburbs and neighborhoods here in Harare. I'm hoping to check out Bulawayo because according to history, I learned that some people in Kenya came through Bulawayo and something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so Bulawayo, I learned about it in history books. So when I travel, I'm always interested in also like being there physically and experiencing these places that we learned in school. So Bulawayo is one of the places, Victoria Falls. And everywhere, basically everywhere.
Great Zimbabwe. You should visit Great Zimbabwe, where the name of the country comes from.
Absolutely, yeah. That's also one of the places. And then there's, I think, a place where there's, I can't remember the name, there's like a glass walk or something like that. Yeah, just lost. I have a list.
Okay, you have a list of the places. So is this something that you always do, to travel around the world, or is it your first time as well being in Zimbabwe?
It's my first time in Zimbabwe, but I've traveled to 20 to 25 countries, and I hope to visit all the countries in the world, starting with the African countries. Yeah.
Are you doing this because it's your job, or you're doing this because it's a passion?
Both.
But being in Zimbabwe, what's the most exciting thing that you have actually come across and you've enjoyed about Zimbabwe so far?
I love the city planning. Like, I think maybe because of the population, it's pretty different from Kenya, because here people have big compounds almost everywhere. There's not so many high-rise buildings. To me, which I prefer that. You know, there's some people who prefer the high-rise buildings and the flats and all that, but I prefer that. I think I find it to be nice. I've been to some levees. I loved the setting of that mall, because mostly the malls we have in Kenya, they're all like one building with so many shops. I like that one because it's like, I find it to be more chilled and relaxed.
We know your friends and your relatives are actually listening to Power FM Zimbabwe right now from Kenya, and they hear you, the African Tigress, on the biggest radio station in Zimbabwe, Power FM Zimbabwe. What advice would you want to give to other Kenyans out there and other people around the world about visiting Zimbabwe?
I would say, I think as Africans and people around the world, first I think we need to make it, we need to normalize visiting African countries, and of course Zimbabwe, because before coming to Zimbabwe, even for content creators, I'd not seen so much content about Zimbabwe. So that's why I was really so fascinated to come and find out why is it that there's not so many content out there. There's not so much content out there about Zimbabwe. To be honest, I was actually really like what I'm seeing, and based on what we see on the media, even when you just go simply on Google and type Zimbabwe, you'll only see demonstrations and things like that, and
negative
only one or two photos of Victoria Falls. Yeah, so it's a beautiful place. I feel like it's underrated. Yeah, there's so much.
So now this is your opportunity now to take more pictures and make them viral about Zimbabwe and enjoy your stay in Zimbabwe. So have you started learning Shona or Isindebele?
I know Shona a little bit.
A little bit. Unonzani. Meaning, what's your name?
Oh, what's my name? African Tigress.
African Tigress.
On YouTube.
Where do you? Where do you come from?
Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya.
I want you to,
Unova Kupe.
Unova Kupe. As in, where do you come from?
Unova Kupe. But you know what? There's some words when people are speaking Shona, I can relate them to some words in Bantu languages in Kenya as well as Kiswahili.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes when people say, I ask them, does this mean that? And then they're like, yeah. So I realize there's just some sort of similarities in the words, and yeah.
Your Zimbabwean love right next to you is now going to be teaching you a bit of Isindebele.
Isindebele.
Because you'd want to travel to Bulawayo, right? Our
Yeah.
second largest city. So you should know a bit of Isindebele.
Okay.
He's gonna
When are
teach
the
you.
classes starting?
No.
Now,
No.
Yes.
Okay.
what would you want to know in this Ndebele?
How do you say I love you?
Nyagutanda.
Nyagutanda.
Let's put it into practical. You don't just say it here.
Okay.
Like, you have to implement it.
I like the advice. Okay. What if she wants to say her name in Isindebele?
Ibizo lami ngingu.
It's hard.
Try.
Ibizo
Lami
lami
ngingu.
ngingo. Ibizo lami ngingo.
My name is, and then you push your name.
Ibizo langi mimo. African Tigress.
Oh, nice. All right, thank you so much, African Tigress, and enjoy your stay in Zimbabwe. And thanks for passing by to the biggest radio station in Zimbabwe. You should listen to it online when you go back to Kenya, Power FM Zimbabwe. We'll give you a link all the time, like you've sent the link to your friends as well. So thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you so much for hosting me, and thank you so much for the love, Zimbabweans.
Unoboti, ndinotenda.
Ndinotenda. That one is thank you. Siyabonga.
And before you go, you say Nyagutanda.
Nyagutanda.
Okay. Meaning?
Love you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, African Tigress. Enjoy your stay in Zimbabwe.
You're listening to Breakfast with Tinashe and Patisani. Power FM